Good morning, all. This is Brian from Earth to Heart. So today, I want to talk about something that I really am passionate about, and that's native plants. Now here, luckily here in the Pacific Northwest, we're on the Puget Sound, just kind of south of Olympia. We got lots of natives. All you food forest, permacultural types, which I guess I consider myself one of as well. You know, this is just a great area where you don't even really have to try, and you just kind of get a natural food forest. So in here, we've got some western hazelnut growing. This is a nest, I think it's also called Oregon hazelnut, but yeah, this is just a natural native hazelnut growing. Now, these wild ones do not produce anywhere near the amount that a bred variety will. So if you do want them for food, you should definitely look at getting a more cultivated variety. But it's just really nice here. And then and as well in here, you've got some of the blackberries kind of starting to overgrow this time of year, and the ferns, but you've got Salal. This is again another wild edible. It's evergreen. It's more edible than some of the others in terms of being actually tasting good, because sometimes things are, yeah, it won't kill you, but does it taste good? Yeah, not always. That's more this Oregon grape, which I don't know if we have any of the actual fruit left. It was a little late this time of year, but you see this plant here is Oregon grape, and when it fruits, it really does look like grapes. That is more of it's edible. Does it taste good? People mostly make it into wine and jellies and jams. Salal is a little more palatable, a little more enjoyable, fresh eating, but is also one where you're gonna probably look more to go to eating it as a jam or a jelly. And here you've got, I believe it's one of our wild roses, and I believe it's Nootka rose, and you got some little rose hips. So again, another edible. If you like rose hips, I'm sort of indifferent to them. They're fine. We can kind of keep going, have our invasive non-native blackberries. Unfortunately, that's a battle. And here, this is red Huckleberry. This one's pretty good. It's nothing spectacular, but it's solid when it's ripe. There's nice little red berries. This one isn't the most ripe. We have a couple others. The continuing wall of stupid invasive blackberry. There are some wild varieties, but that's not one of them. And here's our big leaf maple, one of them. We have a bunch on the property, which we love. And you'd say, oh, that's not really an edible, is it? Except you can tap these for sap. And there are some people who are doing it more in our area and getting big leaf maple syrup. And we've bought some. It's pretty good. It doesn't taste exactly the same as sugar maples, but, for not being in an area where you can do sugar maples, these natural native plants can be used and utilized as a food source. Plus, they're great for just the ecology in general. And let's keep going over here. And it's kind of hard to see down there because it's intermixed with the blackberries. We have another native, one of my favorites, and we got more of it's over here. And it's called Thimbleberry. It is flavor-wise. We're just starting to get some fruits here. Oh, look at that fuzzy. That's probably a little early, but it's called Thimbleberry because it's super thin. Look at that, just like a thimble. It sort of tastes, I describe it as a cross between like a strawberry and a raspberry. It's very seedy, so the texture is very sandy. It's really pleasant. I enjoy it. I know some people maybe don't like it, but it's extremely good. So that's kind of part of our project as we've been here a few years, and we've just been kind of reclaiming the land, pushing back some of the invasives that the previous owners didn't really deal with. I know blackberries are good, but we have some planted that are more cultivated, but you get these little ankle biters and they just wrap around your ankle and it's painful. Whereas I could instead grow a native species that is delicious. It doesn't cut me. Deer and other animals will eat it, which it's great for also just distracting them, right? Instead of eating our plants, they can eat their native stuff. And kind of keep going over here. Kind of cut a little path over to the side. Got some more maples. tons of Salal and Oregon grape is everywhere, and hazelnuts too. Like the wild native hazelnuts are just every single place. This whole mat in here. And there's some larger ones, but most of them are decently small. And then this big old boy. Oh yeah, this is Huckleberry. This is a native wild. It's an understory plant, so if you're looking for how to use it in your garden, there's a couple ways. If you grow it, it's like this whole thicket in here is just native wild huckleberries. They're totally edible in the blueberry family. We're still really early in the year for them to be raw. Now we've planted some. They're really great to incorporate into your landscape. Like if you know boxwoods, they're just everywhere. Everyone uses them, but they're a great replacement for a boxwood. You know, as a shrubbery in your front, on a perimeter. If they prefer the shade, they'll grow taller, but in the sun they will grow more compact. So you'll get more of a more compact shrub. Whereas in the shade, they will definitely tend to kind of get a little more scraggly, but you can train them. And more of the same over here, though. Let's see if we can find some self-heal. It's sort of a small ground. Yeah, I've been letting it go to seed. That's the reason I haven't really taken this, because the self-heal is growing in here, and I want it to go to seed so it grows more. Here we go. So this is self-heal. It's in the mint family. It's really beautiful. It gets these purple flowers. Like it almost, to me, it reminds me of like, the heads almost remind me of like a rosemary flower. Not rosemary, sorry, lavender. Obviously it's in the mint family, so it's not related in any way. We got some more invasives. This is common St. John wort, I'm pretty sure it is. It's non-native, takes over. It's just one of those many things you got to deal with. There's Foxglove, which is pretty, but also invasive. Oh, lots of hazelnuts through here, and here's another really good of the red huckleberry, with them being almost ripe. It grows a little taller, and it's more of a scraggly shrub. We've got some Douglas Berea, which is, it's kind of funny that it's growing here because it's more of a lowland marsh plant, but we have like a less than a mile from here is a marshy creek, so it's probably just been brought in by animals and eating the seeds and pooping them out. And we have a little thicket in here. More hazelnut. And here's the other, here's like the main patch of it. And here, oh, we still have some. So we have our native huckleberry. Or not huckleberry, I don't keep wanting to say huckleberry. It is our native honeysuckle. One of them, there's two natives. One's pink and one's the orange. Oh. They grow all over. Again, later in the year, you'd see them more common much later. More self-heal growing. Like this stuff's going to seed. There's some there. And then we've also got here some Pearly Everlasting. So some really nice. These ones are just starting to flower. But this is another native. I think it's a medicinal. You can use it medicinally. Not really. That's not my area of expertise, but I just know that that's what some people use it for. We kind of keep walking over here. Or actually, we'll go down and I'll walk back up. Again, you have a lot of the similar things. We've definitely got, so here we go. Here's some Oregon grape. That still kind of looks like it still has some of the fruit. It's definitely late, but yeah, it kind of grows like a grape cluster. Again, it's not the best. Some people like it. I find it. I leave it for the deer and the other forest critters. Give them food. And so we're heading over towards the field. I'm not really going to do a full tour of it. As you see, we have these invasive Scotch Broom. It just takes over. I'm in the process of removing it, focusing on the field right now. Because at the very least right now, it's helping just erosion control on this hill until I can get to it. But we have quite a few of it. Again, like the previous owner, he kind of just used this as his golf course. So, which, hey, to each their own. Not my jam. Bear with me. It's going to take a while to get to this other specimen of native plant because it's kind of in a tucked away spot. And the Scotch Brome is aggressive this time of year. And I've most of it in the back, on the back of this field, I've already removed. off to the side on the other side of our greenhouse here as well. And then I've been just slowly working from that end this way. But yeah, the blackberry, you know, we got a lot of non-natives to deal with here. We're gonna bring animals in. Oh, get rid of this. Is Tansy. It's actually really bad. It's not only an invasive, it's toxic, both to humans and especially to like livestock. You know, it's poisonous and causes liver failure. It's really bad. These daisies, not native. There's plenty of them. I think we're gonna bring goats. We want to get our own livestock, but we'll probably rent some just to kind of help eat up these, all this blackberry and other shrubbery. Another tansy. Get rid of you. Yeah, bear with me. This one, it's just, it's worth the trip through here. Let's see. And yeah, let's get through here. Luckily, there's not as many. The other shrubs have fought the blackberries, so I shouldn't get too cut up. But we have Colombian Lily, also known as tiger lily. So this is a native lily. It's beautiful little orange ones. So we're gonna kind of encourage it and plant some more. I have a couple spots I want to grow them in just for ornamental purposes, but no, I think that was worth the trip. And obviously lots more. These are hazelnuts, tons of different Salal and Oregon grape and Huckleberry, different varieties, and a mix of, there is a native blackberry as well in here, but a lot of it that's here is non-native, invasive. There's 2 different invasive species of blackberry, unfortunately, and they're very aggressive. And they definitely like to outcompete native stuff. These might be, some of these might be native. You can really can't tell until they flower, and we're past that period. Their flower petals are a little thinner, and just definitely look different. All right, and we have some more over on this end of, that's another thicket of Thimbleberry that I've been trying to compete with and cut back the, oh hello, bear poop. Probably not. I haven't seen a bear here, so it was probably more of a, oh, whatchamacallit, either just someone's dog. We do have some dogs that just run around, and then, or it could have been a coyote, which we do get, which are good because they eat all the other little critters that are a problem. So here, now these ones are a little early. We have another rare. This one is Goldenrod, and I think it's Canadensis. I'm not an expert, so this is a little early. They're just starting to flower here. I have another patch up, and I'll show you. That one is just a common late summer. It spreads both by seed and by rhizome, so you kind of get those little patches. They kind of grow and spread and grow in little thickets. Yeah, so here's where you can kind of see where it's been chomped down. That's where I was removing. There's a bunch of Scotch Broom out here. Kind of stopped there. It's getting near the end of the day. Oop. Some more self-heal. I love it down here. This is a little later in the time of year when I really like it, because when it's earlier, you're sort of late spring. There's just so many different species. You have, it's almost like just a mini forest. All your different species of native grasses, and there's obviously non-natives in here too. Can't help it. But all the different species kind of growing together, and you get all the different native vetches and other legumes and other forbs. And they're all just kind of create your whole, sort of same to your forest, where you have your overstory plants, your understory, your ground covers. You just have that whole little ecosystem. And we head over here towards our shed. Like I said, this is our field, our main production area that's lying fallow this year. I will do a cover crop here probably next month. I just wanted to cook off any weed seed because I kind of neglected it over the winter and didn't do any proper prep. But as always, it's going good. It's cleaning up. It'll be ready for next year. Just have other things this year that need to be taken care of, so I did that first. Here we go. We have It's near the end. We have some native, more pearly everlasting, and then we have lupin. We have multiple lupin species in our area, and they're sort of one of those keystone species. And sort of, one, they are a legume. So if you're looking to integrate a native plant into your either just normal garden, if you're into permaculture, you know, they are a nitrogen fixer. So you still want to always inoculate the seeds. I would always recommend, if you're going to be particularly using any legume, that one I knocked over, as a nitrogen fixer, you're going to make sure to inoculate it to make sure you're going to maximize it. And that's you're going to get your best bet of making sure it actually fixes a decent amount of nitrogen. But no, I saved some of these seeds, and I've also kind of just took some off and kind of sown them in the ground here. They're important for multiple reasons. It's a food source to a lot of, so obviously it's a nitrogen fixer, so it's part of that life cycle of the prairie, our native prairies here. And it's also a key host plant. A couple of varieties, both Prairie Lupine, which is Lupin lepidus, and sickle-keeled lupin. They're host plants to a couple of threatened butterfly and pollinator species like the Puget Blue. So they need those. That's basically their only host plant. So, you know, that's one thing when you're thinking about pollinator-friendly stuff. Always take into account the host plants as well, because you can have as many nectar sources as you want, but if they don't have a place to lay their eggs, you know, their life cycle can't complete. Yeah, so over here, oh yeah, huffing and puffing this morning. Just more of the same. Another little smaller bramble of huckleberries, both the evergreen and the red. That is the other cut leaf blackberry that's non-native. They're less common here. We have some more of the other. Just the Himalayan blackberry is really, really bad. And then, yeah, we should just kind of answer. So here, and our long-term plan, I'll probably just do a video on all that, is to do a pond here. We'll do a large pond. Now we can kind of work within the trees and catch runoff. Also act as water storage. Sort of a natural way to store water on the property. So here's some more goldenrod. Sorry. And this one is, you know, this one's now in bloom. So, like I said, it's kind of spreads in a rhizome, through rhizome. So you get this sort of pattern where they kind of grow in a little patch. But yeah, they're just, I mean, not like a keystone species, but they're just a nice one. They're great to have because they bloom in midsummer, where there's, you know, like I said, right now around this time of year, a lot of the flowering plants are kind of going away. So they're one of those sort of late July to August, where you can kind of count on them as a plant. Yeah, that is probably, trying to think if there's anything else other than showing the property. This is sort of our property edge. Our neighbors are over here. Yeah, I think that covers it. I'm not sure really if there's much else. There's more of the same. Yeah. So hopefully you enjoyed. Got to see some native plants. It's a little early for a lot of the pollinators. They tend to be out sort of midday-ish as it warms up. We do get more of the birds are out right now. Though you missed, I was out earlier and there was, I think it was robins were chasing an owl away. I was wondering what's pissing the chickens off. They were unhappy, making noises, and then I just saw the owl was over here and then chased by a couple small birds off into that way as they were upset. And then a hawk flew over about 20 minutes later. Nice, you know, Disney princess morning. So anyways, hope you all enjoyed. I look at seeing some native plants and unfortunately some invasives. So yeah, more to follow. We have some more native stuff that we're going to be doing. We're doing restoration on our prairie, grassland, whatever you want to call it. We're sort of on the edge of the prairie lands here, just on the south side, off to the north is where the main prairie is. So we're kind of on the edge, and obviously up on the hill, not really prairie. But we have plenty of pocket gophers, which are a keystone species, and they're endangered, so I guess that's good. Give them habitat. Actually, it is. We have really compact soils. And so they actually kind of help turn everything in the areas where like the lawn, which we'll probably, honestly, we're looking at getting geese, so we'll be, don't worry. I know some people are like, get very, very rabid about pulling up lawns, but it will be put to use. But yeah, well, we got more going, more coming. Hope you all enjoyed. And like, subscribe, all that standard stuff. And have a good rest of your day.